Hi guys, my name is Beards and Breakdowns, and today we're going to be reviewing Nothing Left to Love. Awesome, so today we're going to be talking about Counterparts' sixth studio album, Nothing Left to Love. This album was released on November 1st, 2019 on Pure Noise Records. Now, Counterparts are a five-piece Canadian band from Hamilton, Ontario, and originally formed in 2007. When I first heard Counterparts, it was actually from a friend who recommended them back when they released Tragedy Will Find Us. It really wasn't until Counterparts released their fifth studio album, You're Not You Anymore, that I really started to fall in love with the band. The band's mix of chaotic drums, guitar, and just raw energy mixed with some really beautiful poetic lyrics. They're using a lot of metaphors to really represent the struggles internally and externally that the band is dealing with. Very loud, lots of energy, and a really, really good mix of that dirty, gritty, screaming, hardcore kind of lyrics or vocals with a little bit of soothing choruses. Not everything's as raw the whole time. There is a little bit of a mix, but not as soft singing like other hardcore bands like Stick to Your Guns, where it's got a really nice softer tone. Their cleaner lyrics are still quite raw, but it is a nice little shift in parallel. It's produced by Will Putney, who was also the producer of some classics like Low Teens, Where Every Time I Die, and North Lane's Singularity, including The Ocean Will Take Us by the one and only Amity Affliction. The album comes in with 10 tracks and just over 32 minutes, so it is all killer, no filler. Top 3 tracks, so in no particular order. Let's start off with the first one, Separate Wounds. Solid track. Haunting lyrics, incredibly crisp production. This track is really a standout for me in the first listen. It hit me when I first heard it, but every time I listen to it more and more, it just keeps getting better and better in every spin. It's really great insight into, I guess, toxic relationships. You know, playing on the concept of if you're not there for yourself, can you be there for someone else? You know, will these wounds that you're feeling help you? Will the wounds be other people feeling help them? That concept of being both broken is really highlighted in the chorus. So let's have a listen. Track number 2, Paradise and Plague. What can I say? It's a tale of depression and contemplating suicide. Really stuck between the bliss of letting it all go and, you know, the torture of still being here. I love that in this song, not only is the themes quite heavy, there's a lot of lyrics that in this song then translate and are thrown back to in other songs. That theme of contemplation really runs throughout the whole album, and lyrics that refer to being a particular place or a particular time are littered throughout the whole 10 tracks. But particularly stands out for me is the lyrics in this song, Nowhere I Would Rather Be Than Here With You. It really throws back, or is thrown to other songs like Imprint, where he refers to, I hate it here but never want to leave. It ties in this concept again of staying alive or fighting for that. But really for me, the standout lyrics in this particular song, I was born inside my grave. Incredible. Let's have a little bit of a listen. No one can save me! I was born inside my grave! Track number 3, Wings of Nightmares. So this was their first single that they released, and is also really the first song on the album itself. Really remind you, hey, this is a Counterparts album. It it hits hard, comes out swinging, if you will. Now, the album, as I mentioned, talks a lot about the acceptance of existence, and that's really what, for me, this song really resonates. Maybe not just the acceptance of myself, but also understanding of that concept of acceptance from other people, particularly, again, that theme of suicide and contemplation. Ask the question, if I leave, will those people who are there for me now still be there for me? Will you love me if there's nothing left to love? As the whole album itself kind of conceptualizes. Fantastic track, hits hard, and it was really good that this is the first song that you get into, because it really reminds you that this is the Counterparts album. Let's have a quick listen, just highlight some of those punches that they're going to be bringing every single time. Looking for acceptance, picking me apart like birds of prey. Where are the dead will depart from blinded chest? No skippables for me. With only being 10 songs short and only 32 minutes, and that's with an intro and an outro, it's all killer, no filler. Every song really just kicks on, really well paced. There's no time where you're feeling a little bit lost and the songs kind of blur into each other. Each song is separate enough to feel unique, but also counterparty enough to remind you this is a Counterparts album. Now, I've talked a lot about the intro and outro of this album, and they're the other highlights for me. The intro, Love Me, begins to really ask that question, will you love me when there's nothing left to love? Slow, steady, kind of builds you up, and really it's a great intro to the album. Then you've got your outro, which ties up the album really perfectly in a nice little bow, and again, reinforces that question, will you love me when there's nothing left to love? Ultimately, if I'm not here, will you still love me? Will I be forgotten? And it's just a different sound, that outro, that separates the whole album and pieces it all together. You have to have a listen for it to make sense. One of those albums where the production quality is just done amazingly, because you start off the album with some emotions and it culminates into the outro, and it's really well produced, really well mastered. So solid album. One of my favorite parts of all albums, the breakdown. So which one's my favorite one? The breakdown on Your Own Knife. Oof, man, this one's great. Long, drawn out, like guttural kind of breakdown, with some incredible lyrics just thrown in there. Really rattles in your bones and hits you with the feels at the same time. So let's have a bit of a listen. I should have let you die. I should have let you die. Conceptually, I think this is a massive step up from their last album, or even their last two albums for me. Not that they weren't great from a conceptual aspect. I feel like they've really stepped up a little bit with this album. So I'm giving it a 9. I love the poetry in You're Not You Anymore, but this album is a little bit more fleshed out and polished. With Brandon Murphy, the lead singer and songwriter, provides a great insight into their own struggles with depression and some of those toxic relationships that you have within your own life. And they've come out with a great record. So, overall, I'd give this album a 9 beards out of 10. solid release. There is definitely a reason why it was my #1 played album on Spotify 2019, and it only came out in November. I played this song on repeat, and I still find myself playing it at least once a week, if not once a day, when I'm in the mood. So that's just a testament to this album, how much it hits me and how much it feels like home. So thank you for an incredible album. So thank you guys for joining me on my review of Nothing Left to Love by Counterparts. Please make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon for more.